You know things are bad when even Donald Trump starts backtracking. So a few days ago, you'll remember that Trump came out and said this.
Stark policy differences, obviously, Mr. President, but one thing that I think that at least the perception is that there's not a whole lot of difference between what you think we should do with entitlements or non-discretionary spending and what President Biden is proposing. It's almost the third rail of politics. And we've got a $34 trillion total debt built up, and very little we can do in terms of cutting spending. Discretionary is not going to help. Have you changed your outlook on how to handle entitlements, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, Mr. President? It seems like something has to be done, or else we're going to be stuck at 120% of debt to GDP forever.
So first of all, there is a lot you can do in terms of entitlements, in terms of cutting.
That led to a very expected and swift backlash from Americans who are rightly concerned about the imminent prospect of these programs that we've paid into our entire lives being stripped for parts by Donald Trump, which led to a rare backtrack by a guy who believes that strength is derived from refusing to ever admit fault or concede defeat. In an interview with Breitbart, he said, "I will never do anything that will jeopardize or hurt Social Security or Medicare. We'll have to do it elsewhere, but we're not going to do anything to hurt them. There's so many things that we can do. There's so much cutting and so much waste in so many other areas, but I'll never do anything to hurt Social Security." Now, there are a number of ways you know he's lying. First off, he said the literal opposite just days ago on CNBC, which means that he is operating from a place of zero conviction. If he'll say one thing on Monday and the opposite thing on Thursday, it is because he stands for nothing and will be swayed by whoever is right in front of him at any given moment. The guy's convictions are as firm as a feather in the wind. Is that who you'd feel comfortable with protecting your Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid? The second reason is that he is literally incapable of explaining where he would get funding. He just says, we'll have to do it elsewhere. Okay, where? Because you slashed federal revenue when you were president by giving a $2 trillion tax cut to billionaires that would ultimately help add $8 trillion to the national debt. So if you're not going to raise taxes on the wealthy, you're not going to raise taxes on corporations, you're not going to raise taxes on the highest earners, and you're apparently not going to touch earned benefits, then where is the money going to come from to pay down the debt? Here's a hint, it's not. And anyone who believes him when he suggests as much should probably get their heads out of the sand. But here's the more important reason we know he's lying. Because we've been through this before. In 2016, Trump vowed not to touch earned benefits, and he would then go on to include cuts to Social Security and Medicare in literally every budget he made as president. Every single year. Here's what the Senate Budget Committee said about Trump's final budget in 2021. The Trump budget cuts the Social Security disability program by tens of billions of dollars. It cuts Medicare by about $500 billion. It cuts Medicaid by nearly $1 trillion. And it uses the deficit, which Trump has increased through tax cuts for the wealthy and an unnecessary increase to the bloated Pentagon budget, as an excuse to slash programs for the most vulnerable people in America. So I don't know how many times Lucy needs to pull the football away from Charlie Brown before we start to get the picture. This is what he does. It is a pattern. He tells you he won't touch earned benefits, just like he did in 2016 and 2017 and 2018 and 2019 and 2020. And guess what? Just like he did it every single year, he will continue to do so every single year. Do not listen to what these people say. Watch what they do. Now, as far as Trump's position on earned benefits is concerned, him admitting as much isn't a one-off. This isn't one of those instances where Trump says something mindlessly and then comes back afterwards and says that he didn't mean it. He said the same thing before out loud on numerous occasions. Don't take it from me, take it from him.
One last question.
Go ahead.
Entitlements ever be on your plate?
At some point they will be. We have tremendous growth. We're going to have tremendous growth. This next year, it'll be toward the end of the year. The growth is going to be incredible. And at the right time, we will take a look at that. You know, that's actually the easiest of all things, if you look, because it's such a big percentage.
If you're willing to do some of
If you don't cut something in entitlements, you'll never really deal with the debt.
We'll be cutting, but we're also going to have growth like you've never had before.
And it's not just Trump. His entire party has expressed support for it, meaning there will be no bulwark against cutting your earned benefits if Republicans take control of government. Again, don't take it from me, take it from them.
We need to use this debt ceiling to start us back in the direction of fiscal discipline. But look, we all know where the real issue is in terms of long-term debt for the United States. And that is that while I respect the Speaker's commitment to take Social Security and Medicare off the table for the debt ceiling negotiations. We've got to put them on the table in the long term.
Anyone that says they're not going to take on entitlement reform means they're going to go in and be president and leave the country bankrupt. You can't do that. Yes, we have to do entitlement reform.
We're all struggling here to cover the bases of Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid and all the rest. If we had all those able-bodied workers in the economy, we wouldn't be going upside down and toppling over like this. Listen,
the gentleman,
I will not yield. I will not.
Disaster, and we have to talk about all the spending, including the entitlements, or we're going to ruin the country and ruin our currency.
Turning Medicare into a voucher system.
It's a really good start.
Look, I think I have to be excited about their response to the long-term challenges that we have in our entitlement programs. There's no doubt that we have to wrestle this beast to the ground and do the right things.
I'm here right now to tell you one thing that you probably haven't ever heard from a politician. It will be my objective to phase out Social Security, to pull it up by the roots and get rid of it. Here, here,
And let's just be honest here, we ignore these threats at our own peril. Remember, Republicans vowed to overturn Roe, and they did it. And even though we'd heard these threats for years, and very few people actually believed they'd make good on them, here we are, with reproductive rights being stripped away across the country. And so as far as Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security are concerned, we've already been given the warning. Republicans have already made it perfectly clear that they intend to eliminate these programs and that they are not going to be responsive to the will of the majority of Americans. Now contrast that with Joe Biden, who has made it perfectly clear that he would protect these programs.
Tonight, let's all agree once again to stand up for seniors. Many of my friends on the other side of the aisle want to put Social Security on the chopping block. If anyone here tries to cut Social Security, Medicare, or raise the retirement age, I will stop you. The working people who built this country pay more into Social Security than millionaires and billionaires do. It's not fair. We have two ways to go. Republicans can cut Social Security and give more tax breaks to the wealthy. That's the proposal. Oh no, you guys don't want another $2 trillion tax cut? I kind of thought that's what your plan was. Well, that's good to hear. You're not going to cut another $2 trillion for the super wealthy. That's good to hear. I'll protect and strengthen Social Security and make the wealthy pay their fair share.
So I want to be clear, if Donald Trump is elected, he will cut your earned benefits, benefits that you've paid into your entire lives on every single paycheck you've ever gotten. This is your money, but Trump doesn't seem to care because he's there to serve the wealthy, and those people don't need Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. So again, this is the warning. A vote for Donald Trump is a vote to slash your own earned benefits, money that belongs to you, but that Trump thinks belongs to him. Before you go, I need some help. Please subscribe to the channel and do your part to help grow the progressive media ecosystem. I don't do sponsorships or paid ads, I won't ask for money, but just subscribing to this channel goes a really long way, and it helps get the message out to more people. The subscribe button is right here on the screen. You can also subscribe to my Spanish language channel, which I made to reach those crucial Spanish-speaking voters. That link is on the screen too. And finally, if you want to listen to my audio podcast, you can follow that link as well. Thanks so much for watching.